So 2016 has finally finished in the anime world, and I am here today to count down my top 10 favourite animes of 2016. I must say, 2016 as a whole was a pretty fantastic year for anime. We had some major surprises, and we had some major duds as well, but today I'm going to concentrate on the best of the best, and what is number 10. So it ain't a top 10 list without actually noting off the worst of the best. And there were 3 animes in particular which were so freaking awful, they were bloody masterpieces in their own right. And those 3 animes are Lost Village, Big Order, and Luga Code. Those 3 animes in their own right deserves a mass essay on how bad they are, but at the same time, holy freaking Christ, they were so enjoyable. I was like, you know what? Imagine having a bad time here. Yeah, my brain is sitting there going, fam, get off this crazy train before I start to literally, I don't freaking know, man. I can't figure out an adjective right now to describe how I will turn out if we carry on with these shows. But I never quitted. And holy freaking Christ, I'm glad I didn't, because Big Order, oh god, that show was something else. Lost Village, oh my god. I can't get past that show. That show was magical. And then Luga Code as well. Luga Code was only 1 episode long, but Luga Code was freaking phenomenal. So yes, number 10 is dedicated to those so bad they're fantastic shows. But what is number 9? Number 9 goes to 2 animes. These 2 animes, if you watch them simultaneously, they are almost the exact same show, which is freaking scary. And if you have been following me for the last 12 weeks, I would say you know which ones I'm talking about. These 2 animes are Boku no Hero Academia and Jojo. Kind of weird comparisons when you think about it, but once you actually start watching them, you're like, yeah, I can see where it's coming from. And I was kind of surprised myself when I figured it out. I was like, holy Christ, they're both the same. Aside from a few differences here and there, but they're largely simultaneously almost the same. But anyhow, they are fantabulous shows, like some of the best of the year. I mean, Boku no Hero Academia, I knew it was going to be good, but once I finished it, I was like, oh my god, this was fantastic. Like, oh man, it was one of those shows. Every single character was phenomenal, I must say. I was like, damn, I love every single one of these characters. And Jojo was no different. I mean, with Jojo, it was one of those shows that people completely disregarded, didn't really kind of take seriously, and once you actually kind of did, you kind of got a better experience overall, I must say. I was like, you know what, once you kind of think beyond it's just boobs and asses fighting each other, you get yourself a pretty deep show. I was kind of like, wow! So yeah. Number 9 is very much 2 animes which you wouldn't think the same, but actually kind of sort of are. And they're both fantastic. So what is number 8? Number 8 is Joker Game, an anime everyone disregarded completely because it wasn't going their way they thought it was, which I do to some degree agree with. But once you accepted it for what it was, holy freaking Christ, it was phenomenal, I must say. Joker Game was a rare anime for me because I actually adored it. I thought every single episode brought something new, every single character was interesting. Yes, I could not remember half of their names, but still, I loved them equally because each story just brought something that I loved, and each story, how it unraveled, the twists and turns, it just kept you interested. I'm like, yeah, I like this. I can keep going with this. I kind of sort of want to know how it all just comes together, and it kind of came together in a pretty fashion. Granted, once you realised what was truly going on at Production IG's headquarters, you're like, oh, those guys are freaking awesome. Because the whole entire anime played out of order. There actually is an order to this show, which makes it make more sense. I was like, huh, okay. And once you actually kind of realise the actual like order, it actually does improve the show somewhat. So yeah, number 8 very much is going to Joker Game. So, what is number 7? So, number 7 is ReZero. And you might be sitting there wondering, Joe, why is it so far up the list? Why ain't it number 1? Come on, tell me. It's because this show does have some flaws, which I can't overlook anymore. I must say, these flaws are pretty freaking amazingly big. I'm sitting there going, God damn it, how did I not realise this before? But once you kind of realise them, you're like, yeah, it's not so hot, is it? I mean, the major thing this show has, which is its major flaw, is the writing. The writing itself is phenomenal, which kind of is a contradiction in its own right, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, the writing disregards certain plot points and just writes them out as if they weren't there. You're kind of sitting there going, what happened to this? What happened to that? Why is this character here but not there anymore? What's going on here sometimes? You're kind of like, yeah. I mean, for the most part, the story it told was freaking great-o, but at the same time, it just had certain things that were missing from the second half. I mean, Beatrice, where were you at, Fambodia? Like, I don't even know. I was kind of sitting there going, I need her back. Why wasn't she there? And then Reinhard, he was meant to be the most OP'd character in anime, yet he only showed his chops, I think, once. I kind of like, why was my husband written out completely? Kind of felt disappointed. Even the whole entire Royal Selection just got written out. I kind of like, okay, yes, the White Well is massive, don't get me wrong, pardon the pun, but still, the Royal Selection was a pretty interesting plot point which just got completely disregarded. I'm kind of sitting there going, you could have just included that in there somewhere. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, Amelia doing pretty well in the Royal Selection, so good job on you. But yeah. That's why it's so far up the list. Maybe you can actually understand where I'm coming from with the actual kind of deduction. I mean, it ain't gonna be to everyone's taste because this show pretty much is like the biggest show of the whole entire year besides Yuri on Ice. I mean, I can understand why, because the 25 weeks this show gave us, it was non-stop, relentless action, despair, and everything in between. And also Amelia as well, because Amelia's best girl. But still, it was great, but it had certain things which dampened it completely. I was kind of like, oh, god damn you. Like, not to the point of a 4 out of 10, to the point of about a 9, maybe 9.2 out of 10. That's what I'll probably put it at. So yeah, what is number 6? Number 6 is 2 animes actually. I mean 2 sequels to already freaking phenomenal shows that appeared on my list last year. And these 2 animes being Snow White with the red hair Season 2 and Concrete Revolution Season 2, their last song. And holy freaking Christ, these animes, they were perfect sequels. Like, I mean, Snow White in its own right, that was a perfect sequel. Like, nothing was wrong. Every single character got development. The plot developed. The relationship developed. Everything developed. And then Concrete Revolution, it just upped the ante. And I must say, it just told a really freaking great story. I like, yeah, I like this. This is a good show. I mean, I want more of it, but how it ended, it kind of sort of left it open for more, but at the same time didn't, so I don't know whether or not we might get it. But hopefully Concrete Revolution does get some more attention because, holy Christ, it's freaking phenomenal. I must say, if you haven't watched the show, you're kind of sitting there going, doesn't look like my cup of tea. Kind of give it a chance. Just give it a chance. It's a good show. It has a lot of heart in it. And I must say, it does kind of incorporate a lot of Japanese history, which does actually run itself to be very freaking interesting. I must say, I like this. I like where it's going. So, that is number 6. But what is number 5? Number 5 again is 2 animes. 2 animes that begun last year but ended this year. So I couldn't put them in their own place because technically they didn't start this year. And those 2 animes are the bloody phenomenal, the amazing Gintama 2015 and as well Gundam Thunderbolt. These 2 animes, I mean Gintama 2015, what more can I say than I've already said? This show is perfect beyond any degree. I mean, god damn it, there's not one single adjective in the dictionary that describes how great this show is. And if you haven't caught up with Gintama, now is the perfect time because the final season is airing next season. And I must say, I am bloody hyped and at the same time in complete despair because my favourite show is pretty much ending. I'm like, no. And as well, Gundam Thunderbolt. Oh my god, this show was amazing. Like, 4 episodes, I got no words. It's just perfect. It's literally the Gundam experience I've wanted ever since 00. And it was great-o. I mean, the characters were great. The actual soundtrack, holy Christ, the soundtrack was one of the best I've ever heard in a show. It brought me back to Cowboy Bebop days, and I'm like, yeah boy. So, that very much is number 5. So what is number 4? Number 4 is Kiss Niver. I must say, this was number 1 until this season and last season. Those 2 seasons, holy Christ, they were freaking phenomenal, and they brought their A game, and Kiss Niver got completely demoted from number 1 to number 4. But let's not disregard how phenomenal this show is. Oh my god, Kiss Niver was perfect in its own right. I mean, Trigger gave us their magnum opus, and if you want to hear my whole entire thoughts, I do recommend you go and watch my review series, because I gave you an in-depth thought process into why I love that show so much, and also an in-depth analysis into certain things about the show as well. So I do recommend you go back and watch that, because it's actually one of my favourite shows that I ever covered this whole entire year. But my god, Kiss Niver. It was an original concept, I must say, and I really did like where it was going. I loved how it all just came together in the end, and how every single character got their somewhat development. I mean, certain kind of characters got a bit rushed, but still, they were all there, and the ending was pretty freaking nice, I must say. It was a really, really heartfelt ending. So yes, Kiss Niver was perfect in its own right. The soundtrack was great. The animation was phenomenal at points. The use of colour was amazing. Oh my god, everything was perfect. So yes, that is number 4. But what is number 3? Now we're heading in to the big animes of the year for me. So yes, let's go on to that now. Number 3 is Yuri on Ice. And you might be thinking, Joe, why ain't this number 1? And to that I answer, there were 2 better animes out this year than Yuri on Ice. But does that disregard this anime? No. This show is a masterpiece. This show came out of freaking nowhere, out of left field. I don't freaking know where it came from, but still, I love its existence because it just had everything. I mean, yes, there were a few animation hiccups, and to me, it doesn't really matter. Like, if the show is freaking phenomenal, I can get past some animation hiccups, so it didn't really matter. But still, the characters, well, what can I say? Every single one of them, they were pretty banging. Like, that's a better way to describe them. I mean, Victor, whew, he was a specimen and a half. He was, god damn it, that man was beautiful, god, perfect, gorgeous. Every single character just developed so freaking damn well that I really understood where they were coming from, where they wanted to go next, why they were fighting for that gold medal, and as well, the soundtrack was eloquent, I must say. Oh my god, the soundtrack was phenomenal. And shout out to the theme of JJ. Yes, the dude is a douche nugget, but god damn it, his theme is amazing. So yes, number 3 is Yuri on Ice. But what is number 2? Number 2 is Mob Psycho 100. Oh my god, this show. And as well, at number 2 spot again for 1, because last year I get number 2 to One Punch Man. So, well done 1, you did it again. And Mob Psycho 100 truly was his magnum opus. Oh my god, this show was... it's perfect. The show has nothing wrong with it. Every single character's development was phenomenal, I must say. There was so many things going on behind closed doors that it just gave you so much more to the anime. I must say, it's one of those shows that was worth deciphering, like worth analysing, because what it gave you was rewarding, and I loved every single second of it. God freaking damn. And Bones, yeah boys, did it again, I must say. The animation, it was phenomenal. Like, there was not one frame which looked ugly. I must say, he just looked phenomenal. I must say, I was like, woo! Like, Bones, good job on that. Like, yeah, I like you. Season 2, where you're at, boy. Like, give me season 2 now. But yeah, Mob Psycho 100 truly was an experience, and I loved every single second of it. The soundtrack was great. Reigen was best boy. God dang it, he was pretty freaking cool. I loved every single interaction the characters had. I mean, the biggest touching moment of the whole entire year was once you found out why Mob respects Reigen so much. That whole entire scene was heartwarming. It was amazing. I loved every single second of it. So yes, that's why Mob Psycho 100 gets number 2. But what is my anime of the year? If you watched me, you know what it is. So yes, let's get onto it now. Number 1 is Jojo Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. Holy cow, this anime. It's just it's too good for this world. It's too pure. It's a cinnamon roll anime. It's just, whoo! God, I mean, I knew this show's gonna be freaking great. Well, I knew it. Straight away, going into the show, like, yeah, this is gonna be a freaking awesome anime. But did I understand by the end of it that it was gonna be this phenomenal show? The anime of the decade? No, I did not. Oh my god, the story was perfect, I must say. The experience you had going through Morio with Josuke, Okuyasu, Koichi, Jotaro, Rohan, and every other single character in the show was eloquent, phenomenal, every single adjective in a dictionary. God damn it, this show was amazing. Kira, holy freaking Christ, you might just be the best shonen villain I've ever seen. God damn it, that man. I wanted to hate him. I couldn't. I loved him too much. He was just so freaking good. And they brought their A game with the animation. God damn, the colours were great. Granted, yes, there were certain points which weren't so great. I mean, once Killer Queen first showed, he was not that good. But I get past that whole entire thing, and the use of colour was amazing. It just completely one-upped Part 3. And Part 3 on its own was amazing. Had some pacing issues, had some little bits I was like, yeah, not so keen on that. But still, for the most part, it was a magical experience. Part 4 just completely cemented Araki being this godlike being of amazement. I'm so glad I picked this anime up. I'm so glad I marathoned my way through the first 3 parts to get to Part 4 because it was worth it. And I must say, if you haven't already, go do it because god dang, this show is beautiful. It is great. So yes, that is my top 10 list of animes of the year. Hopefully you agree with what I've said here. If you don't, please do tell me what your top 10 animes were of the year because I do love hearing what else you guys thought was the best of the year. But yes, hopefully 2017 give us a pretty freaking knockout year of anime, I must say. It looks promising, I must say. It looks pretty much sequel-ish anime year, but I ain't gonna disregard it. I'm gonna sit here and say, yeah, it's gonna look pretty good. I mean, Gintama's coming back next season, which is basically like cemented, yeah. Good year, I must say. So yeah, with all that said, I have indeed been the driver. If you have enjoyed this very freaking long last video, then do leave a like, because indeed, it does help me quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here and you want to leave a sub, then do leave a sub because indeed it does help me quite a bit. Then you know my streams go live because I do streams here and there for the most part, actually all the time. And yeah, if you want to actually get me to 1,000 subscribers, then do, because I'm almost there. I'm about 9 away now. So until next time, with hopefully my top 10 worst shows of the year, I shall see you guys later. Bye for now.